Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Oh man, if you thought the first two episodes of Pluribus were wild, episode 3 just cranked it up a notch. Or should I say, pulled the pin. I'm obsessed with this show, you guys. Vince Gilligan is back at it, blending that slow burn tension from Breaking Bad with some seriously creepy sci-fi vibes. Imagine being one of the last freethinkers in a world where everyone's turned into this overly polite, all-knowing hive mind. Would you fight it tooth and nail, or start wondering if joining the bliss isn't so bad? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. Would you pull a Carol and test the limits, or hide out like that guy in Paraguay? I know you've binged up to episode 3, so no full recap needed, but we'll dive deep into the breakdowns, hidden gems, and what might come next. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button for more TV deep dives like this. Alright, let's jump in. Okay, so episode 3, titled Grenade, is a bit of a shift in pace from the high-stakes global takeover we saw in the premiere double ep. It's more intimate, focusing almost entirely on our girl Carol Sturka, played brilliantly by Ray Seahorn. Seriously, give her all the awards. We're 3 days out from The Joining, that massive event where the virus hit and turned billions into this unified hive mind called the Others, or Pluribus. Carol's back in Albuquerque after that failed summit with the other English-speaking immunes, and she's pissed. The episode opens with this killer flashback. 2,617 days, 10 hours, 30 minutes, and 42 seconds before The Joining. Love that precise countdown. It's such a Gilligan touch, hinting at how the hive tracks everything. We see Carol and her late wife Helen on vacation at an ice hotel in Norway. Helen's all excited, practicing Norwegian with the bellhop Bjorn, while Carol's being her classic grumpy self, complaining about the cold, obsessing over whether her latest Waikaro romance book hit the top 20 bestseller list. She asks if it's closer to 11 or 20. Lol. It's a subtle gut punch, showing how Carol's negativity might have strained their relationship even before the virus. Hidden detail here, this flashback isn't just filler. It mirrors Carol's current isolation, and it foreshadows her grief exploding later. Notice how Helen's the one embracing new experiences, while Carol resists. Sound familiar to her stance on the hive? Back in the present, Carol's on a plane home, ditching Zosha's, Carolina Wydra, offer for first class, because she's all about that independence. But she grills Zosha about the other immunes worldwide. We get this list that expands the world building. There's a 68-year-old candy vendor in Istanbul, a 23-year-old contortionist in Bali, an 89-year-old retired fisherman in Sardinia, an 8-year-old sheep farmer's kid in Lesotho, a 37-year-old muezzin in Yemen, and this standout, Manusos Oviedo, Carlos Manuel Vesga, a 37-year-old self-storage manager in Paraguay who's managed to avoid all contact with the infected for a day and a half. That's huge. Most immunes are just living in denial or luxury, but this guy's straight up hiding. Carol tries to call him via Zosha, but he hangs up twice, thinking it's the hive pranking him. On the third try, he yells abuse, and Carol snaps back in broken Spanish, "Go f*** your mother." It's raw and hilarious, but important. Her frustration shows the language barriers among the 12 immunes. Yep, 12. Confirmed as a dozen exceptions total, not just English speakers. Hidden gem, Oviedo's refusal might stem from him mistaking Carol for infected, but her insult could be a signal that she's real. Foreshadowing? Bet we'll see him ally with her later, maybe sharing hiding tips or a cure idea. Carol ditches Zosha at the airport, but can't shake the hive's helpfulness. She gets home to a stack of mail they've collected, bills, junk, takeout menus, and a package. A personal massager Helen ordered as a gag gift after Carol tried one in an Atlanta airport. Oof, that hits hard. Carol freaks and demands the hive forget everything about Helen, never mention or think of her again. It's a power move, claiming her grief as hers alone. The Hive complies, but is it real? We know they share all memories, so this could be a lie or a glitch. Notice how Carol lingers on Helen's name on an envelope. Seahorn's acting here is subtle fire, conveying that mix of love and regret. Key scenes and what we see: society's creepy new normal and Carol's boundary pushing. The episode really shines in showing how the world has changed post-joining. Carol wakes up to a hot breakfast tray from the Hive. Thrown away, of course. Her fridge is empty, so she drives her unicorn-painted truck. Love that quirky detail. It's her last bit of personality. To the local Whole Foods, only to find it stripped bare. The Hive centralized all food for efficiency. No private stashes, no waste. Power's off at night, too, since there's no crime or night shifts, except essentials. Carol's not having it. She demands the store restocked. And boom! Dozens of 18-wheelers roll in, workers syncing like robots to refill shelves, even with her fave oat milk. It's eerie how fast and compliant they are. No arguments, just perfect harmony. Important point: this highlights the Hive's biological imperative to help and assimilate. They're not evil, they're programmed for unity, viewing loners like Carol as drowning and needing a life preserver. That night, Carol's binging Golden Girls DVDs. Hidden Easter egg: she cranks the volume. No neighbors to complain. Post-apocalypse perk? Power cuts out town-wide for conservation, but flips back on just for her cul-de-sac. Frustrated, she calls Zosha and sarcastically says a hand grenade would top off her greatest week ever. Cut to Zosha at the door with a real live grenade. Carol invites her in for vodka. Zosha nerds out on its distillation history. Hive knows everything. And they chat about assimilation timelines. Weeks, months, maybe longer. Carol tests boundaries. Why force her if her life's her own? Zosha explains it's like instinct. They can't not help.
Then, the big moment. Carol toys with the grenade, assuming it's fake, pulls the pin. Zosha wrestles it away, chucks it out the window, into the truck, and tackles Carol as it explodes. Windows shatter, debris flies, truck's toast. Zosha's hit with shrapnel in her back, blood everywhere. Why save Carol? Hive self-preservation. Losing a body hurts the collective. But more, they genuinely care via shared memories, including Helen's love for Carol. Hidden detail: the explosions timed perfectly. Notice the flaming debris scattering like fireworks, symbolic of Carol's grief bursting out. What we see next? This could lead to Carol exploiting the Hive's no-refusal policy, maybe demanding a cure or rallying immunes. Hospital interrogation: the Hive's limits, or lack thereof, and moral dilemmas. Morning after, Carol's at the hospital. Hive docs patch Zosha up. No nerve damage, but concussion watch. She interrogates a DHL delivery guy turned Hive avatar, Robert Bailey Jr. Great uneasy performance. Would they give another grenade? Yes. A bazooka? Yes. A tank? Yes. An atom bomb? Hesitation, but when pushed to yes-no, yes, even though they oppose it personally. Boom. Revelation. The Hive can't say no. Rejection defies their unity code. They're agreeable to a fault, providing anything for happiness, even self-destructive stuff. This is the episode's core twist, tying back to the virus's alien origins. It's not conquest, it's enforced bliss, but with vulnerabilities. How was episode 3 overall? Tense and unsettling, like a pressure cooker. It's slower, more character-driven. Gordon Smith's writing-directing nails that Breaking Bad vibe of quiet dread building to a bang, literal here. Seahorn carries it. Her Carol is flawed, relatable, depressive, sarcastic, but fierce. The Hive's kindness feels suffocating, a metaphor for conformity or AI overreach. Gilligan's hinted at AI parallels. Pacing's a breather after episodes 1 to 2, but doesn't drag.
Every scene peels layers on grief, free will versus imperative. Hidden details, Easter eggs, and theories. What to notice and what's coming next. Let's geek out on the subtleties. That precise pre-joining countdown hints the Hive's tracking something big. Maybe the signals return. Golden Girls binge. A nod to comfort in chaos, but also isolation. No one to share laughs with. The massager gift. Funny, but underscores Helen's playfulness versus Carol's grumpiness, foreshadowing relationship flashbacks in future epils. Oviedo's call. His abuse might be code for prove you're immune, setting up an alliance. And the weapons escalation. Hidden flaw. The Hive hasn't ditched pre-joining nukes despite no wars. Why? Maybe alien programming assumes we'll self-destruct if resistant. Thematically, it's about boundaries. Carol demands the Hive forget Helen to own her memories, but the collective's shared essence mocks that. Ending leaves us with Carol's moral quandary. Exploit this weakness for a cure, or risk becoming the monster? Predictions. Episode 4 might see Carol contacting Oviedo successfully, maybe rallying immunes for a weapon against the Hive. Could the atom bomb hypothetical become real? Or a deeper reveal on the space signal? Is it evolving? The Hive's selflessness might backfire if Carol pushes too far. Whew, Episode 3 is a grenade of ideas, pun intended. What did you catch that I missed? Team Carol or secretly pro-Hive? Drop comments, like if this breakdown helped, and subscribe for Episode 4 when it drops. See you next time. Stay immune out there. Peace.